Chairman Smith, ranking members of the subcommittee, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I think my name has been mentioned several times. I'm Robert Hijiro. I was born in Uganda because my parents lived there after being forced out of Rwanda in 1959. So I share the same background with the president because he was also raised in Uganda as a refugee. I was part of the force that seized control of Kigali in 1994, which actually led to the falling of the former Hutu regime and brought an end to the genocide in Rwanda. I did work for 2 decades with the Rwandan military and served in different capacities. I had 2 tours as a peacekeeper, one with the African Union, the initial launch of Darfur peacekeeping, and another one with the United Nations African Union hybrid mission, which is still ongoing. On returning home, that was 2010, I only found that I had been decommissioned and out of job. What that means in Rwanda is that no single investor or businessman is going to work with you because it means you are disfavored from the system. So as my colleague just mentioned, it's a controlled business environment. So I went to Uganda to pursue business opportunities. But not so long, I was summoned back to Rwanda. And I was questioned about my links with the former Army Chief of Staff, General Kayumba Nyamwasa, and former National Intelligence and Security Chief, Colonel Patrick Karegeya. These 2 officers had, of course, fallen out with President Kagame and had fled to South Africa. This happened to me, but even to other many officers. The most recent examples are Generals Tom Byabagamba, who actually spent the whole of his struggle since 90 to recently in 2010, I think 12, looking after Kagame, protecting him. He was a deputy sector commander in Southern Sudan as a peacekeeper. When he got home, he was taken straight to prison. Same happened to General Frank Rusagara, military attaché in the United Kingdom. After his services, straight to prison. David Kawiye served for a long time, straight to prison. And many, many, many others. The military we are talking about today is no longer there. He has young boys doing the peacekeeping, but all the top cadres that actually helped him get into power, they are either in cells, dead, running, all over the world. Others are idle in the country, which is a very dangerous aspect when it comes to national security. Well, after my interrogation, I was suspicious. I knew that something is wrong, and they want to use me for a dirty job, as usual. Having served 20 years, I knew exactly why they summoned me, and I was met by the military leadership. It was not long, my former trainees warned me that if I don't leave the country, I would be in danger. So I fled to Senegal, thinking if I go as far as possible, they will forget all about me. But a few months, 2 or 3, somebody is sent by the Director of Military Intelligence, Dan Munyuza, to tell me that they have a job for me. He calls me directly and tells me that they have sat down and decided to give me a job. And the job was to go to South Africa and eliminate former Chief of Staff, General Kayumba Nyamwasa, and former National Security and Intelligence Chief, Colonel Patrick Karegeya. And there's a question you asked, I should state that on record, that is Kagame involved? Up to where? When Munyuza, Director of Military Intelligence, is giving me a mission, he's only quoting the president. Now, I was desperate and I needed time to think about it, because I know that whether you do the job or not, you're going to die anyway. So I called Colonel Patrick, gave him the story, and we agreed that I go to South Africa and play by Dan's motions. I went to South Africa. We discussed between me and General Nyamwasa and Colonel Patrick how to go about it. So we agreed that I should gather as much evidence as possible by recording each and every conversation of instructions of this assassination plan, which could be used like we're using it today. So I recorded these conversations for over 7 months. And eventually, I told Munyuza, of course, that I could do the job. And he said he would offer up to $1 million USA for the job. We went on and on, modalities, the weapons to be used, what he wants me to do, how to do it, etc., etc. And then eventually couldn't send in the money because we were waiting for the money to come in, which would add on this evidence. But they started, the boss was saying, he tells me, the boss is saying we should wait. Why can't you eliminate them first before you are paid? And I knew something is wrong. And then I had to flee South Africa. I went to Uganda, crossed to Nairobi, and eventually found myself in Belgium, where I live today as a dissident, like others. In Rwanda, like others, I'm a wanted man. Abroad, I'm on the hit list. Like him, like anybody else. Well, like he said, or the previous speakers, on the New Year's Eve of 2014, Kagame achieved his wish, and that's when Colonel Patrick Karegeya was found strangled in Johannesburg Hotel. I should add here that some of these individuals involved are known. We know them. South Africa is still conducting the investigations. We are waiting, but we know some of these individuals. General Kayumba Nyamwasa has survived, I think, 3 assassination attempts in South Africa. The first one was actually shot, but he didn't die. The others, they would find him in a different location, and it has been 3 or 4 times. He's still living. We don't know for how long. For me, when this happened, when Patrick died, I decided to find a reading newspaper, a Canadian newspaper, the Globe and Mail, and shared my story. I gave them access to the tapes. These tapes were independently verified or and translated. This paper went as far as interviewing former military officers, and they confirmed indeed the voice belongs to Munyuza. And not only that, there is technology, as you are telling the members of Department of State. We can always verify this voice. If the government says, no, this is not Dan Munyuza, then they should give us the official voice of Munyuza, and we compare with the one I have. If it's not true, then, well, it's not. I cannot go again over the list of Rwandans who were assassinated abroad and in the country. You have talked about it. He has talked about it. We have submitted a copy of that. It's a long one, but the reality is tragic. I would like to end with a message to my fellow Rwandans, Hutus and Tutsis. have much to attain for with regard to one another. Like me, many Tutsis support the establishment of truly independent court that would follow these crimes committed by President Paul Kagame and his allies. If you allow me, I'll read this quote from Mandela, which he gave out in 1994. I quote, "Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. The time for the healing of the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divide us has come. The time to build is upon us." I sincerely thank the subcommittee for its time and interest and respectfully ask for help, and the help of the entire US Congress, to urge Rwandans to put aside their divisions, regional, political, and ethnic, and work peacefully together to end this repressive regime. Thank you.